Hello and welcome to New Orleans. My name is William Maestri. I'm a Catholic priest with the Archdiocese of New Orleans. In the back of me are two of the great symbols of New Orleans, Jackson Square and St. Louis Cathedral. New Orleans, a city so synonymous with history, and these two great landmarks have served both for civic and religious occasions, both for the city as well as the nation, and in many instances even the world, welcoming presidents, prime ministers, and popes. It's nice to say that after Katrina, much of New Orleans, its life, its flavor, has really begun to return. The sights and sounds, the smells that one associates with New Orleans have been coming back more and more, and especially the people, as you can see. The city of New Orleans, with its sights and sounds, that which really makes New Orleans, New Orleans, will serve as a background for the various reflections and poems that we will be sharing as part of our Who's Calling. We hope that this blending of sight, sound, and word will enrich your own spiritual journey and your own quest to answer Who's Calling. Jesus' selection of the first disciples certainly does not conform to any kind of human expectation. In fact, Jesus' selection of disciples, the first disciples anyway, is rather strange by most standards. He didn't choose the wise and the learned and the clever. He chose very ordinary people, fishermen. He even chose a tax collector. And one of the people he chose a zealot, Judas of Iscariot. And I guess we wonder if Jesus knew from the beginning that this was the one who would lift his hand against him. But Jesus loved him and kept him in the company, in the community, through all of the ups and downs, and in fact even entrusted him with the important task of taking care of the money. This raised a great deal of eyebrows. We might say it raised a great deal of suspicion. In fact, the title of this selection is Suspicion. A tax collector among us, now one named Judas. No wonder no one wants us. This keeper of the trust, driven by lust for his own august. He cares not for the widow, often poor he ignores. Silver, gold he wants to hoard. His only gold is gold and more. Grasping, clasping, purse held tight, not for right, but money's might. Can't shake the feeling, unappealing, downright appalling. Thoughts are reeling. This bad one called will cause a fall. Beckoning yields a reckoning. Wonder if he suspects, maybe regrets. No looking back, no time for that. Away he goes, let it close. To lie down is my one desire, warm by the fire. Rest my head on any bed, the ground a familiar spread. Here's some space, I know the place, full of grace. Jesus desired to eat the Last Supper, the last Passover, with those men that he had chosen as the first disciples. He had shared so much of life with them, the will of the Father. He taught them so much, and they had seen so much from him. The miracles, the signs, the wonders, the sublime teaching. And yet here they were the night before he was to be betrayed. He is indeed with his disciples at that Last Supper, that last Passover, and the hand of one who is going to betray him is there with him at table. And Jesus does something extraordinary. He gives the morsel dipped in the herbs to Judas. This was a sign at the meal of the one who was most in need of forgiveness, acceptance, and understanding, the one who was most in need of love. Who better to receive this morsel from Jesus than Judas, who was about to go into the night and turn Jesus in? This selection is entitled, The Morsel. We know how to deal with a spy, a little old-fashioned eye for an eye. Let this Judas die, hang himself high, say goodbye. Jesus gives us a look, shakes his head. What more can be said? Have come to know who is the betrayer. Ask the beloved, he'll discover. What's this? The morsel dipped into the dish? To Judas, who now leaves us? Into the night goes the scoundrel, this lost soul. He escapes our hold. Wouldn't want his fate, I'll keep the faith. To the bitter end, I'll remain a friend. The sword is ready, I'll be steady. Come what may, he knows I'll stay, no matter the trial, never a denial. I'm the rock, I have the key. He can count on me. Watch, you'll see.